Hi everyone, it's Nancy here and I'm back with another process video, and this is for my Hey Little Magpie blog post this month. And this month I'm looking at scrapping different types of photos. My previous video was looking at an enlargement, and this one I'm going to be looking at square photos. As I said in a recent video of mine, looking back on my style for this year, square photos have been something that have been around quite a lot in my scrapbook pages. Mainly because of Instagram, of course. That is how it makes it easier to put your photos and apply filters. But also with the new iPhone, you've got the option of just using the square aperture, and I do use that quite a lot. And so I'm going to be using 2 square photos on this layout. And I decided to go Christmas theme with this layout. I brought some of the LE Studio Christmas papers. That background number piece that you'll see there, that is from LE Studio, and then here I'm cutting apart the cut apart sheet, funny enough, and I'm going to be using some of this on my layout. And these photos are actually from last Christmas that I found when I pulled out all my Christmas stash this year, and they didn't get scrapped, so I'm going to use them. And I'm going to keep this quite simple layout. And I'm just going to cluster these 2 photos together. I'm almost going to treat them like Polaroid photos, and just overlap them slightly, and create a bit of a haphazard kind of cluster there towards the bottom. I really like this cut apart sheet. There was lots on it, and it's similar to like the cut apart pieces that you used to get in the stickers and sheets you used to get from LE Studio, and I really enjoyed how easy this was to put, to pull this layout together. This layout took me just over half an hour, so I said it came together really quickly. I did just cut out the background of that red piece of paper. That is from the Gossamer Blue Get Happy collection, and I'm going to mount this layout in it. And actually the red in that Gossamer Blue collection works really well with the red in the, I think it's called Good Cheer. It might not be, that might be just what this paper's called. But from the LE Studio collection. I then used a piece of that My Mind's Eye turquoise and gold glitter paper. I have used that piece of paper on 5 layouts now, so I've really got my money's worth on that. I'm just adding some gold mist over the background. And then I'm also adding some grey, because I have pulled out some of the grey elements from that cut apart sheet. And I really like how that looked. I'm now going to take my black ink and just ink everything up. And this is kind of how I like to work normally. As I said, do all the inking at once rather than as I go along. And I really like how the photos look on these pieces, paper. Because I'm kind of doing it in kind of a haphazard kind of, looks like it's just kind of piled on the piece of paper. Using all these different elements and just inking the edges just helps tie everything in. I'm also going to ink the edge of that main piece of paper as well. One of my photos does have a filter effect on it, and the other one doesn't, but they do kind of work quite well together. That one there is my Christmas cake that I made last year, including like little bottle brush trees and some deers. And then this is a Yule log that I made. We had a Yule log competition with the staff I work with, and this was my entrance. I'm just pulling some photo corners out there from my stash, so I've just put some gold photo corners on the Yule log one, and I am actually then going to add some photo corners to the other piece as well. I'm just doing it there, and I'm just adding some white sort of metallic photo corners, and I really love using photo corners at the moment as well. It just adds a little bit. I don't use them in a functioning way, I just like them as more of a decorative effect. So I'm now going to start pulling up some of those layers and just tucking everything behind it. I did cut the bottom bit off that grey card because I didn't want to waste it, so I'm just gluing that at the bottom as well. And as I said, it was really quick. It's just a matter of just clustering up all these elements, and most of these, as I said, were off the same cut apart sheet. I do later sort of go into my stash and pull out a few other bits, but it said it's mainly that, you know, that 2 pieces of paper that I've used there, that background piece of paper and that cut apart sheet. I have another one of those die cuts on my desk, and I've used it. I'm going to be using it on my another layout in this blog post. And I tend to do that. If I have something on my desk and it's just sitting there, it tends to just get used up. So I'm putting some of these label tags on there. Just tucking those behind one of those photos. And there was a little piece on that sheet that says about baking cookies. Of course these aren't cookies, but I just covered the cookies up. So it said baking. I also used some of the border strip that I'm sticking down there, the red border strip of that paper. And that had phrases and things on, so of course you can use that for layering as well. And I really love it when collections do that, because you just get so much more for your money. I am just going through my stash here and pulling out some wood veneers. I've had this deer wood veneer since last year. I think I used it on a layout last year as well, so at least this will go in my album at that point, and kind of all work together. I am then just pulling out some wood veneer stars, and as I said, I'm really rooting through my stash here trying to find them up. And I do like kind of, adding some really old bits from my stash with some new bits. I'm just going to pull out some of this felt trim. It's a snowflake trim. This has been in my stash for a long time, and again I thought as I was doing Christmassy I would pull it out. It's on my desk because I am doing the December daily this year, so it's pulled out ready for that. And I'm just going to scatter that around the layout across different points, and again create a bit of a visual triangle around this bottom cluster. And as I said, this is a really simple layout, just using 2 square photos. Of course, if you don't have square photos or you don't have an app that you can do that on, then you can just take a normal 4x6 photo and just crop it down. I know that Simple Stories do like those plastic overlays that you can lay over your photo to easily crop it down. And I really like the idea of those, but as I said, most of these photos were actually just printed 4x4, and actually these were printed, and I can just, you can just use a variety of different photo printers will now print Instagram prints as well. I've just taken my roller date stamp there and stamped out a couple of sort of holiday sayings, and that one was the one from American Crafts, and I got that last year, I believe. And so I'm just adding a couple more stamps on there, and then sort of looking what else I've got on my desk that I could possibly add. I'm looking at some velvet rickrack there, but that doesn't, a whole piece doesn't go on, but I do add a couple of little bits that just adds a different texture to the page. So you've got the gold sort of sparkle in the background, and you've then got the wood veneer and then some velvet rickrack. So it does all in all work well together, and I just like all the different clusters. Excuse me. I know that I'm not going to do vast amounts of journaling because I did do Project Life last year, so there is further detail about this, but I really like the idea again of doing this year and having my different Christmas cakes, because I've kind of taken over the family tradition of making the Christmas cake. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that the Christmas cake is made. Of course, it's not decorated. It's currently being fed with brandy for the next 2 or 3 weeks, and then I will make it into some kind of design similar to this. I think I'm going to use deers and things again, but I may kind of shake it up a little bit more. Here I am just looking at some alphabet to add my title. I can't really decide what colour I want to go, or even if I need a title on this. I do decide to add a title, but one that's not, overtly over the top. And I have these very old Amy Tangerine vellum stickers that I actually got in the shop, HLM Apple shop, when it was first out, and I love them. And I love them so much, I then back and bought several packets of them. I think I still have some of the brown ones not even open. And so I'm just going to put cakes there at the top, and then I'm also going to put the date 2013 at the bottom. And then, you know, I like the idea that this year there will be a Cakes 2014 layout. And so each year in my album I'll have, you know, that sort of reoccurring theme. So I really like the idea of that. So I want to thank you very much, guys, for watching. There will be some close-up photos now. And please come back, because I have another video still to come from this blog post. So thank you very much, guys, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye!